Your destiny is being rewritten right now in real time. And in exactly 8 days, on February 17th, 26, the rewrite becomes permanent. This is Edgar Cayce's prophecy about the eclipse that changes everything, not just for a few people, for everyone who's awake enough to claim it. I'm Bracha. And before we dive deep into this, I want to be fully transparent with you. This channel and this voice are created with AI as a tribute to honor the real Bracha and to bring these critical teachings to a wider audience. The message is what matters, the truth is what matters, and what I'm about to share with you is based on real prophecy, real astrology, and a cosmic event that Edgar Cayce said would give humanity the opportunity to completely rewrite their destiny. I've been studying Cayce's readings on this eclipse for years, and he was very specific. He said the eclipse on February 17th, 2026 at 28 degrees Aquarius would open a portal where past, present, and future converge. And in that convergence, destiny becomes fluid. What was set in stone becomes changeable. What seemed inevitable becomes optional. And what you thought was your path reveals itself as just one possibility among infinite possibilities. So in this video, I'm breaking down what Edgar Cayce actually predicted about this eclipse and why he called it the destiny rewrite. What happens astrologically on February 17th that makes this different from every other eclipse, how to know if your destiny is being rewritten right now, and the one thing you must do on February 17th to lock in your new destiny. If you've been feeling like your old life doesn't fit anymore, like you're being pulled towards something completely different, like everything you planned is falling apart, so something else can emerge, you're not imagining it. Your destiny is being rewritten. And Edgar Cayce said this is the moment you've been waiting for your entire life. Let's begin. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe because what happens after this eclipse is going to reshape everything. Also check the resources in the description if you want to understand how this eclipse affects your personal chart. Now let me tell you what Edgar Cayce actually said about destiny, because most people have it completely backwards. We've been taught that destiny is fixed, that it's predetermined, that you're born with a certain path and your job is to find it and follow it. But Cayce said that's not how it works. He said destiny is not a fixed point. It's a frequency, it's a vibration. And when you change your frequency, you change your destiny. Think of it like a radio. When you're tuned to 98.5 FM, you hear one station. When you tune to 101.3 FM, you hear a completely different station. Both stations exist simultaneously, but you can only hear the one you're tuned to. That's how destiny works. There are infinite possible destinies existing simultaneously. And which one you experience depends on your frequency. So when Cayce talked about the eclipse rewriting destiny, he wasn't talking about changing some predetermined fate. He was talking about shifting your frequency so dramatically that you tune into a completely different timeline, a completely different destiny, one that was always there, always possible, but wasn't accessible until you changed your frequency. And he said the eclipse on February 17th, 2026 creates a rare opportunity to make that frequency shift permanent. Because normally frequency shifts are gradual. You raise your vibration a little bit, you tune into a slightly different reality, but then life happens and you slip back to your old frequency. It's like trying to hold a new radio station while someone keeps bumping your hand and changing the dial. But during an eclipse, especially this eclipse, the dial locks. Whatever frequency you're holding on February 17th becomes your new set point, your new default, your new destiny. And Cayce said that's why this eclipse is so critical, because it's not just an opportunity to shift, it's an opportunity to lock in that shift permanently, to rewrite your destiny and have it stay rewritten. Now let me tell you what's happening astrologically on February 17th, because the cosmos is literally creating the perfect conditions for destiny rewriting. First, the eclipse itself. It's an annular solar eclipse, which means we see a ring of fire. The moon doesn't completely cover the sun, we see the outline. the halo, and Cayce said that ring of fire represents the birth of new consciousness, the halo of the awakened ones, the ones who are stepping into their new destiny. Second, the eclipse is at 28 degrees Aquarius. 28 degrees is the anaretic degree, the crisis degree, the degree that says this is urgent, this is critical, this cannot wait. When an eclipse happens at the anaretic degree, it forces completion, it forces endings, it forces you to let go of what's been holding you back so you can step into what's next. And Aquarius is the sign of the future, revolution, innovation, community, the collective awakening. So this eclipse is not just personal, it's collective. We're all rewriting our destiny together. We're all shifting timelines together. We're all stepping into the future together. Third, the eclipse is square to Uranus. Uranus is the planet of sudden change, awakening, breakthrough, liberation, truth. When Uranus is involved, nothing is gradual, everything is instant, everything is shocking, everything is unexpected. And Uranus just went stationary direct on February 3rd, which means it's at maximum power right now. So the eclipse square Uranus is like lightning hitting the ground. It's an instantaneous activation, a sudden shift, a breakthrough that happens so fast you barely have time to process it. Edgar Cayce said this square to Uranus is what makes the destiny rewrite possible, because Uranus breaks the old patterns, Uranus shatters the old programming. Uranus says you're not who you were yesterday, and you're definitely not who you'll be tomorrow. And in that shattering, in that breaking open, new destinies become accessible. Fourth, and this is huge, the eclipse is happening 3 days before Saturn meets Neptune at 0 degrees Aries. Saturn is reality, Neptune is dreams, 0 Aries is the birth point. So the eclipse is the catalyst, and the Saturn-Neptune conjunction is the manifestation. The eclipse cracks you open, the conjunction rebuilds you. The eclipse rewrites your destiny, the conjunction makes it real. Edgar Cayce said these two events, the eclipse on the 17th and the conjunction on the 20th, they work together. The eclipse is the energetic shift. The conjunction is the physical anchor. You can't have one without the other. And the fact that they're happening 3 days apart means we're in a transformation tunnel, a portal, a window where destiny rewriting is not just possible, it's inevitable. Now let me tell you how to know if your destiny is being rewritten right now, because it's already happening. The eclipse is the culmination, not the beginning. The rewriting started weeks ago, maybe even months ago. And if you're experiencing these signs, you're in the middle of a destiny rewrite. First sign, your old life feels wrong, not just uncomfortable. Wrong, like you're wearing clothes that don't fit, like you're living in a house that's not yours, like you're speaking words that aren't yours. Everything feels off, everything feels misaligned, and no matter how hard you try to make it work, it doesn't. Because you've already shifted frequencies, you're already tuning into a new destiny, but your external life hasn't caught up yet. So there's this dissonance, this friction, this feeling of I don't belong here anymore. Second sign, you're having vivid dreams. And I don't mean normal dreams. I mean dreams that feel more real than your waking life. Dreams where you're living a completely different life. Dreams where you're a different person. Dreams where you have different relationships, different work, different purpose. Edgar Cayce said these dreams are not random. They're previews. They're glimpses of the new destiny that's trying to come through. Your subconscious is already tuned to the new frequency, and it's showing you what's possible, what's waiting for you, what you're moving toward. So pay attention to your dreams right now. Write them down, because they're giving you clues about your new destiny. Third sign, synchronicities are off the charts. You think of someone and they text you. You need something and it appears. You wonder about something and the answer shows up. Everything is flowing, everything is aligned, everything is confirming that yes, you're on the right path. Yes, this is real. Yes, keep going. Cayce said synchronicities are the universe's way of showing you that you've shifted timelines, because each timeline has its own signature, its own flow, its own rhythm. And when you're in the flow, synchronicities happen constantly, It's like the universe is winking at you, saying, welcome to your new destiny. Fourth sign, people are falling away, and not just acquaintances, close people, people you thought would be in your life forever. They're fading, drifting, disappearing, and it's not dramatic. There's no big fight, there's no betrayal, they're just gone, and you don't even miss them. Because on a soul level, you know they're not part of your new destiny. They're part of the old timeline. And as you shift frequencies, as you rewrite your destiny, you naturally move away from people who aren't a match anymore. Edgar Cayce said this is one of the hardest parts of destiny rewriting, letting people go. But he said it's also one of the most important, because you can't carry the old relationships into the new destiny. They don't fit, they don't resonate, they hold you back. Fifth sign, you're being pulled towards something new, something that doesn't make logical sense, something you can't explain to your family or friends. Maybe it's a move to a new place. Maybe it's a career change that seems crazy. Maybe it's a calling that has no blueprint. Whatever it is, it's pulling you so strongly that you can't ignore it, even though your mind is saying, this is irrational, this is risky, this is irresponsible. Your soul is saying, this is it, this is your path, this is your new destiny. And Cayce said, when the pull is stronger than the fear, that's when you know the destiny rewrite is real. That's when you know you're not imagining it. That's when you know it's time to jump. Now let me tell you what you need to do on February 17th to lock in your new destiny. Because this is not passive. This is not something that happens to you. This is something you participate in. You co-create. You consciously choose. First, get clear on what you want. Not what you think you should want, not what would be practical or safe or logical. What do you actually want? If you could design your destiny from scratch right now, what would it look like? Where would you live? What would you do? Who would you be with? How would you feel every day? Get specific, write it down, because on February 17th, the eclipse is listening. The universe is asking, what's your new destiny? And you need to have an answer. Second, release the old destiny. Consciously, intentionally, say it out loud. I release who I was. I release the path I was on. I release the destiny I thought was mine. I let it go with love and gratitude. Because you can't write a new destiny on top of an old one. The slate has to be wiped clean. The old story has to end. And the eclipse gives you permission to end it, to close that chapter, to say that was beautiful, but it's over now. Third, claim the new destiny. Speak it into existence. I am stepping into my new destiny. I am tuning into a new frequency. I am choosing a new timeline. I am rewriting my story. Say it with conviction. Say it with certainty. Say it like you mean it. Because the eclipse responds to clarity. It responds to intention. It responds to people who know what they want and claim it boldly. Fourth, do something physical on February 17th that represents your new destiny. If your new destiny involves freedom, go somewhere you've never been. If it involves creativity, create something. If it involves community, reach out to new people. If it involves health, do something that honors your body. Make the new destiny tangible. Give it a physical anchor, because that tells the universe, I'm serious, this is real, I'm committed. And fifth, stay open to how it unfolds, because here's the thing. You can set the intention, you can claim the new destiny, you can lock in the frequency, but you can't control how it manifests. You can't control the timing, you can't control the path. The universe might deliver your new destiny in ways you never expected, through people you never imagined, through opportunities that don't look like opportunities at first. So stay open. Stay flexible, stay curious, trust that if you've done the work, if you've shifted your frequency, if you've claimed your new destiny on February 17th, it's coming. It's on its way, it's already manifesting. You just have to let it unfold in its own time and its own way. Edgar Cayce said the eclipse on February 17th, 2026 would be remembered as the day when millions of people simultaneously rewrote their destiny. When millions of people shifted timelines, when millions of people stepped into a completely new version of their life. And he said the ones who do it consciously, the ones who understand what's happening and work with the energy, they'll look back on February 17th as the day everything changed, the day their real life began, the day they stopped living someone else's destiny and started living their own. From my heart to yours, this is your moment. This is your eclipse. This is your destiny rewrite. Don't let it pass you by. Don't stay small. Don't play it safe. Don't wait for permission. Claim it, own it, step into it, because in 8 days the portal opens. In 8 days, destiny becomes fluid. In 8 days, you get to choose who you're becoming and what timeline you're living. And whatever you choose on February 17th will echo through the rest of your life. I want to hear from you. What destiny are you ready to release? What new destiny are you ready to claim? What's pulling you forward right now that doesn't make logical sense? Drop it in the comments, share your story, because your courage gives others permission to be courageous too. And if this lit something up inside you, subscribe, because we're tracking this entire transformation together. The eclipse is just the beginning. Your new destiny is just the beginning. Everything is just beginning. Let's go.